Big news! Trump just dropped tariffs on Canada, Mexico, and China.
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 China. China. China. China. China. China. China. China.
And if you're in real estate, whether you're flipping a house, building a house, or just renovating something, you need to hear this because your costs are about to go up. Let's get into it. I'm going to break it down for you.
Oh, shit. Here we go again.
Guys, we're talking about lumber and steel, aluminum costs, appliances, electronics. It doesn't matter. Anything that you're going to use to renovate or build a house, it's going up in price. So what does this mean for you as a homeowner, investor, or builder? Let's get into it because this is going to reshape the real estate market in 2025. All right, so what exactly are these tariffs and why do you care? Trump just placed a 25% tariff on Canada and Mexico and a 10% additional tariff on China. These aren't just random taxes either. These tariffs directly target the materials that you use to renovate, build, or just fix your own home. For example, some of the things that are going to go up: lumber from Canada, and that's going to include flooring, that's going to include cabinets, framing, and then you've got steel and aluminum coming in from Mexico. That's going to increase the cost of your HVAC system, appliances, and roofing. And then basically everything else that you buy at the Home Depot to either fix your house or build a house, all of the electronic parts, all of the plumbing and electrical pieces that you get, they come from China. And if they come from China, the cost is going up. You can expect two things actually: higher prices and delays. And it gets worse if you're a builder or a flipper. Costs are about to actually go through the roof. We just saw this as well during COVID. This inflation shit is real, and it's about to get real. This is what's happening. As material costs go up, you pay more for supplies, everything goes up. That's inflation. The cost of your house goes up. The cost to rent a house goes up. Everything goes up. And man, don't even get me started on supply chain issues. I'm in Puerto Rico. We already experienced that. It's going to get much worse, potentially. So with these project cost increases, that means that you're going to need to increase your budgets in order to finish your projects. Or we might see some investors and developers who get themselves in trouble because they didn't accurately predict what it was going to cost them to build or renovate the project. Here's one example that I remember. It seems like it was just yesterday. In 2018, lumber actually went through the roof. Going back to that scenario, it went up over 150%. And it was painful. This added a huge amount of cost to building a house, to renovating a house. Everything went up. So back in 2018, we were still renovating entire houses for around 35 grand. And over a period of time from 2018 to now 2025, that same renovation that we would do for $35,000 has skyrocketed to around 70 grand. And that's just me. I'm an average real estate investor. I do a lot of value add real estate investing. So many renovations. If it costs me $70,000 and I'm getting a better deal than most of you who are just doing your own projects, if you're just a small investor or you're doing something for yourself and you go to the contractor world, you should expect to pay even more. All right, investors, what does this mean for you? Your costs are going up. That squeezes your margins. And this isn't just for people who are doing the buy, fix, and sell. It doesn't matter if you're a long-term holder and you're buying stuff for keeping them as rental properties or you're developing a hotel. Your costs are going up. Your timeline to renovate things is going up. And oh, by the way, a lot of the labor force is going to be deported. We could do another video about that. And homeowners, this applies to you too. If you're thinking about doing that kitchen remodelation, or you're going to remodel your bathroom, or you're going to put a new roof on the house, it's going to get more expensive. That's just the way of the world. Now let's zoom out and figure out how does this play out economically. For the U.S., you're going to see a higher consumer price. And potential inflation? Yeah, tariffs lead to potential inflation, that's for sure. It especially hits hard in the industries that we deal with as real estate investors, like construction, manufacturing, and even labor costs. Those costs always get passed on to the end buyer. Whether that's you as a real estate investor, they get passed on to you, or you're probably going to be trying to pass them on to the retail buyers or the people who rent the properties. The costs are going up, so the cost of housing is going up, the cost of rents are going up. It's all going up. And interest rates might rise again. So some experts are saying that these costs could increase the typical household in the U.S. cost of living by $1,000 to $1,200 per year. Now let's talk about Mexico and Canada. What's going to happen to them? Their economies are smaller than the U.S. economy and way more reliant on the U.S. We could actually see Mexico slipping into a recession, and Canada's already a shit show, and it's going to get worse for them if they keep up this. They should especially feel it in the cost of natural resources and auto manufacturing. manufacturing. So while the U.S. is going to feel it, there's going to be some pain for you and I as real estate investors. It's going to be worse for Canada and Mexico. The good news, I think, because of the pressure that Trump is putting on Canada and Mexico, they will do what he's asking them to do, which is secure the borders and stop the flow of fentanyl coming in both from the southern border from Mexico and coming down from the northern border in Canada. That's what this is all about, guys. This fentanyl shit's killing many, many people. In fact, I just lost a good friend last month, and this is a pandemic or this is an epidemic. I don't know what you call it, but it's a big problem that the drugs are just flowing in and killing hundreds of thousands of Americans every year. So Donald Trump, he's put out these tariffs, specifically has stated that the reason he's doing it is because he wants to stop the flow of those drugs. We'll see if it works. I think we're playing a game of who's got the bigger balls, and in this case, I'm going to bet on Trump. I don't like tariffs. If you've watched the rest of this video, you know I think it's going to cost me in my industry, and therefore you, the real estate investor, it's going to cost us. It's going to raise prices. But I think the people do need to stop dying, as Trump likes to say.
I want everybody to stop dying. They're dying.
And we've got to get a handle on the border situation. So, China, Canada, Mexico, get your shit in order and get in line. So what can we do about this? Here's the move. If you have the ability to stock up on key materials now before the prices go up, that could be a good idea. As a real estate investor, we usually like to leave all of the materials with the big supply houses, but maybe it's time that you go stock up on the stuff that you know you're going to be using for the rest of the year and get it now while the prices are still low or seemingly low. Obviously, you need to start looking for local suppliers instead of relying on these imports, which is tough for us here in Puerto Rico because everything's pretty much imported. There's nothing that's made here, unfortunately. Although we do have the facilities to start manufacturing things, so maybe that'll be a boon for the economy of Puerto Rico. I digress. This is a big one, guys, for real estate investors. Be flexible, be willing to shift strategies. So if the cost of your flip becomes too burdensome and you're no longer going to make any money by selling it, consider putting a renter in there and going and borrowing against it from the bank and then just hold on to it for a little while. This stuff won't be forever, and even if it is, the cost of real estate is going to rise, and it'll rise quickly. So that's a good thing for you if you can be flexible and change the game plan if you need to. Pivot, we call it. And guys, it's really important that you stay informed, so you want to smash that subscribe button because we will be bringing you the information as fast as we can in real time. We want to see you be a successful real estate investor, so we're bringing it every single week. We tell you what we do, how we do it, and we even talk about why.
Breaking news!
All right, hold up, guys. Literally in the middle of shooting this video, we go to lunch and get news that both Canada and Mexico have now backed down. And after high-level negotiations, both countries have agreed to step up their border security efforts. And in return, Donald Trump has paused the tariffs on both Canada and Mexico for 30 days. And this is going to allow both the countries to continue to negotiate with President Trump and hopefully come to a long-term solution. Mexico's deploying 10,000 troops to the border. And Canada's going to ramp up enforcement on the border with new technology and personnel. Guys, love them or hate them, you got to give credit where credit is due. Donald Trump just made this happen by putting pressure on these two countries. And for now, it looks like builders and investors may have caught a temporary break. But make no mistake, this does not mean prices are going down. And here is what's still happening. The 10% tariff on China is still coming. So remember, that means appliances, electrical supplies, plumbing supplies, all of these things are going to go up in cost. Basically, if you look at the shelf in Home Depot and look who it's made by, half of that stuff's made by China, and all of that's going to go up. And we are already experiencing the cost of other labor and materials really being just very, very high. And just because we dodged this bullet, that doesn't mean that everything's going to get cheaper. So here, listen, what's next? We've got 30 days now before this pause expires. And it's going to be through negotiation whether these tariffs are gone for good or whether they're going to come back with a vengeance. And what do you guys think? Leave a comment. Let's talk about it. Do you think Canada and Mexico will hold up their end of the bargain? Or do you think we'll be right back here in 30 days? Let's have a lively discussion. I know half of you guys love Trump, half of you guys hate Trump. It always makes for a fun conversation. Just be respectful with each other. And if you want real-time updates like this one, subscribe to the channel. I'll keep you updated as things evolve. Listen, this is just the beginning. If tariffs stay, expect all of these costs to keep rising. And we want to make sure that if you're in real estate, you're well prepared for this. So let me ask, if you're in real estate, how are you preparing for this? Drop a comment below. Let's talk strategy. And if you want to really get into it and become part of the conversation, join our free school community. The link's in the description. Over there, we're networking together. We're learning together and we're ultimately doing deals together. We're talking about this stuff every single day. These videos can only go out once or twice a week, but every day we're in the Flip Flop Flipper community. It's free for you to join. Come and be part of the conversation. Let us be part of your real estate investing story. See you in the next one. Watch this next. God bless.